Hello everybody, my name is Mars. You can call me MG if you would like, and today I'm here to talk to you guys about my summer writing project time tracking challenge thing that I've been doing because I am officially halfway through, and I figured this would be a good time to give you an update on how it's all been going. Basically, I decided at the beginning of the summer that I wanted to track my writing across various projects for 90 days, and today I'm filming it on August 5th because yesterday, the 4th, was the 45th day of my project. I started it on June 21st, and it will end on September 18th because I wanted it to finish the day before my birthday, and it was just a nice little summery time, so that's why it's my summer time tracking challenge. But I just have some statistics, some interesting little tidbits, and maybe a few plans going forward that I thought would make a cool video, so here I am to talk about all of it. So I do have a spreadsheet, but it's nothing fancy. I'll still grab a screenshot for you just so you know the vibes of it. But basically, along the top, we have all of my priority projects, and we'll talk in a second about if I'm actually making them a priority. Then on the far side, we have the dates. The other side, we have the total hours that I've been rounding to the quarter hour just because it seemed a little bit easier than tracking to the minute, and then a section for notes so I can go into a little bit of detail about what exactly I was working on with regards to those projects that day. And then along the bottom, we just have all of my totals. So very simple. I'm not great at Excel, but this is what I could do, and it gets the job done. I'm happy with it. So right off the bat, I am going to admit that I did not do a great job picking out my priority projects. There are 5 of them that I just have not touched at all in the past 45 days, and they are City of Blood, Gay Vampires, Space Dragons, Lesbian Biker Inferno, and Twin Mechs. Those were all projects that when I started this, I thought, yeah, these are ones I'm going to want to work on over the course of the summer, and I just haven't. I've been working on other things, so maybe a little bit of a reassessment is needed, but maybe in the next 45 days I'll get around to working on these. Who knows? As for the projects that I wanted to prioritize and did work on, I've only done a couple of hours on If We Shadows, but that's something that I'll probably work on more in the fall just because of the vibes of it. And I've done quite a lot of work on my cowboy story. That is what I started with the Storyteller's Hearth Weekend Relay, which was the first 3 days of this challenge. It like lined up perfectly, and I was brainstorming it and then outlining it and then drafting it. So I've done a whole lot of cowboy stuff, and I've also done a little bit with Jenny slash Exco. So I just lumped those two together, even though they're technically two separate projects, because they are books 2 and 3 in my series of companion standalones that you don't need to read them in order, but they all take place in the same world, so it's not that big a deal. I just put them together because it made sense in my head. But I've done a little bit of work on Jenny because I published it in July just a few weeks ago, so I did some edits and stuff with that. And I will be doing more with Exco, different rounds of edits and stuff, because I'm hoping to publish that at the end of this year. So that number definitely will be going up quite a bit in the second half of this writing challenge. But then the bulk of my time has gone to, well, I wouldn't say the bulk of my time. Most of my time has gone to my cowboy story, but the second highest category is other projects, which mostly has meant 2 different cosmic horror ideas that I've come up with. One urban fantasy-esque story with a zodiac-based magic system, and one story that I've had for a couple of years now, but I'm finally like really feeling getting into it, called Winter's Prisoner, which is having to do with the fair folk and a human that gets caught up in all their politics. It's so much fun. That's the one I've been working on the past few days, and I'm just really loving it. So like I said, the start of this really lined up perfectly with the Storyteller's Hearth Weekend Relay. So those first few days were all 3 or more hours worked, and there's been a couple of other like heavier days of work where I've done 2.5, 3.5 hours of work. Most days though are between 30 minutes and an hour and 30 minutes, which is a little bit upsetting to me, honestly. I figured I would have spent more time writing, but I realized that I do a ton of other stuff, I do YouTube, I read a lot, I have a bit of a social life. I hang out with my friends every now and then. So this total hours spent writing doesn't really reflect my life in general. So I might in the future, if I try this sort of thing again, maybe track other things too, just so it doesn't look like I'm doing absolutely nothing for most of the day. But I do still want to maybe bump that number up a little bit and maybe have the average hours worked higher. We'll see how things go. I have only had 3 days in this 45-day period where I did no writing whatsoever in that day, and they were all due to various health things going on. If you didn't know, I am chronically ill, so the fact that there were only 3 days during that time period is kind of fantastic. I really thought there would be more, but I'm not complaining that I seem to be a little bit healthier than usual. So that's pretty fun. It's going to be interesting to see how things go because the turning of the seasons is usually a big stressor on my health. So maybe the end of this time tracking project is going to be a few more zeros. We'll have to see when it happens. I'm actually very excited for these next 45 days, mostly these next 5 days, because from today when I'm filming it Monday to Friday when this is going up, these 5 days, I'm challenging myself to work as much as I can on 3 different projects. So I have Xcode, which I have recently received more feedback for this latest draft that I wrote, and so I'm going to be going through that and implementing edits. I have one of my cosmic horror ideas. It's a novella, not going to be long at all, but I want to draft that. And then I also have Winter's Prisoner that I just want to continue brainstorming and figuring out because I've just really been in the mood for that, which is weird because it's the dead of summer and I'm working on a very wintry project. But it's been working for me, so we're gonna see how these next 5 days go, and hopefully that'll boost my average time per day. I will be vlogging it, so stick around if you want to see that. I will also be vlogging a refilling my creative well, taking a break from writing weekend thing afterwards, because I know I'm going to try and get a ton done this week, and I will need a break afterwards. So you should stick around and check those out when they go up, but after that, I'm not really sure how the 40 other writing days are going to go. I guess I will find out and give you an update at the end of this project, and we'll talk then about how it went as a whole and if I plan on doing this sort of thing again in the future. So you can look forward to that. But yeah, I just wanted to come on here and do some chatting about this because it's been an interesting time. If you've enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a big thumbs up. You can subscribe to my channel for more content, and that way I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!